Eczema. What is it? What can we do about it? Do we just have to tolerate it? Interesting questions if you happen to have eczema or if you know somebody with eczema. Now, it's a minority condition. Why would we be interested? Because 10% of the people in Britain are said to have it. That's 6 million people. It makes you wonder why that could come about. Now, that's a bigger topic. We do have individual texts, we have blogs running, we have a lot of information on the website to do with it. What I want to do now is just explain what we can do with it and how that works. Now, one of the important processes is to actually understand skin itself, because interesting thing is it replaces itself every 14 days. So what happens is that the skin that I'm looking at here and that you can see is not the skin you could have seen a month ago. It's brand new. But that raises a question. Anybody with eczema knows that if they've got an eczema patch there, 14 days later, 14 years later, it might still be red. So why is it that these cells can't come and repeat it? Now, if I just suggest that, just imagine this is skin. So I'm down here. This is the outside. There's the world. These cells get made here every day, have done all throughout my life. And as they move up, they get nice and tough. And by the time they get to the outside, they're the ones that we can scratch and everybody's happy. Now, if you have eczema, that splits. You've got these painful cracks. Now imagine if you've put cream and everything on there like everybody does, when these new cells are coming through, they're only halfway, they're only semi-mature, and some of them meet this stuff in the cracks. Some of those cells don't make it, so the cracks continue. What happens with NewGenn, we believe, is that because our products are so very, very mild, and they get into all these cracks, when these cells come up, all the cells make it. Because in that time those cells came to come through, the skin is intact. Coming the other way, it simply means we didn't damage it. Now, that is the simplicity of it. The reason we're so confident in that is that we've now got quite a number of people who have had eczema for some of them their lifetimes, which is 20, 30 years. 14 days later, their skin is intact. The question is how we do that. One of the products is a wipe. It's a standard wet wipe, but it's extremely mild, used on premature babies in the health service, so it's extremely safe. But one of the important things is that there's liquid in there and it doesn't damage the suit. It's designed that way. It's meant to be very, very nice. A lot of people are scared of wipes when it comes to eczema. And when you see how many ingredients there are in some of the wipes in the shop, you should be scared of wipes. With 15, 20 ingredients, they're just not necessary. Okay, now the other thing that we do is we have a product for using in a shower. Now it comes out as a foam, and what you do, wet your skin, rub this in, rinse it off, and dry off. Now, it's quite important that we recognize that simple point I made earlier about stuff being in these cracks. If you're using creams and emollients and moisturizers and some shampoo gets in there and all these things together, you never know what kind of cocktail you have, chemical cocktail. Trick is, what we want to do is get this material between you and those creams. So when you use this in the shower, when you come out, dry yourself off. If you feel you need to put something else on, then what we have is another foam, and this one just gets dabbed on and left on. It's not going to damage your clothes, so you'll be fine when you put your clothes on, and it's not going to make your clothes greasy. If you want to continue using some of your creams, try considering every day reducing the number of creams, because what these do is allow your skin to take care of itself. There's a big question, do we cure the eczema? At this stage we don't know. All we know is that people who used to have red patches are now not got red patches. Is it a coincidence? It might be. The challenge, people are telling us, is they're perfectly happy to think, right, either I can stay as somebody with red patches or I can become a coincidence. We are collecting more and more coincidences. In time, once we've got 100,000 people, 1 million people, perhaps we'll have enough numbers to do the full science and break this cycle. Until then, what we're doing is just concentrating on letting people free themselves and really, really get back to enjoying their life. So you've actually heard in there some quite strong statements. There are 6 million people in Britain with eczema, they're told they can't cure it. They're trapped. But we've got people who are breaking the boundaries now. It's them telling us that the eczema is gone. These products weren't developed for eczema. They were developed for other hospital uses. It's when they got to people with eczema, they rang in and said, great, thanks for curing my eczema. I question the word cure because it's emotive, but they don't have eczema anymore. So if you'd like to try yourself, the worst that can happen is you decide to try outside the boundary, 14 days later, 20 days later, maybe it's not for you, you can come back. But what if you had the hope, you developed some confidence, and you developed the freedom? Now, would you like to help these rest of the 6 million get out? That's the reward. You've helped yourself, helped somebody else, or if you're one of those without eczema, maybe you're one of the 90% who doesn't have it. How would you feel if you could get somebody out of eczema? Believe me, those who have done it love it. Okay, so thanks very much, and do contact us.